B'Shem Hashem Na'aseh V'Natzech. Shabbat Shalom. We start the second book of the Torah, Shemot, which we're talking about Moshe and Pharaoh and the whole story of the Exodus. And we know that unfortunately when Moshe initially comes and visits Pharaoh to tell him, let my people go, Pharaoh not only doesn't he let the Jewish people go, but he makes their work double as hard. He used to give them the raw materials to build the pyramids and the buildings. He says, Moshe, why are you disturbing and distracting the nation from their hard labor with this nonsense about God? And he says, now, not only won't I give the Jews, they have to put out the same output, the same quota of building whatever they need to build, and I'm not even going to give them the raw materials. They have to go get the wheat and make the cement themselves. And the RAMCHAL, which is the pillar of Jewish ethics, our great giant of Kabbalah, Rabbeinu Moshe Chaim Luzzatto, says, what's the modern revelation to us? He says Pharaoh is a symbol of the Satan, of the Yetzer Hara, of the evil inclination that exists within us. And he says we have to be aware that there is a negative energy, the Satan, which constantly wants to make us a workaholic. Constantly, because basically, just like Pharaoh says, well, if the Jews have any time on their hands, then they're going to think about spirituality and God and the purpose of existence. So let me give them so much overwhelming work, backbreaking work, they don't have any time to even breathe and to think about what their purpose is in life. And today, Pharaoh exists, unfortunately, within each one of us. And it's that capacity of the rat race, of workaholic, that you get so overwhelmed and drowned in the pursuit of luxury and making your 1 million into 2 million that you forget what you're on this world for. So when we Jews, every day in the Shema we read we have to leave Egypt, means we have to leave away from worshipping the physical, but from being a workaholic, just like Pharaoh overwhelmed us with backbreaking work, so we can't think, delve into our purpose of existence and leave no time, zero time for spirituality. This same negative energy exists today. And especially in these big cities, I've been in New York many times, and LA, we see that so many people, they have no time, zero time for spirituality. They have zero time to spend with themselves to see what's the purpose of creation. So may Hashem help us to realize that nasty and dangerous Pharaoh exists within us. And we have to ask ourselves a question. Do we live to work or work to live? The goal is not to work. Working was Adam was put into paradise in the Garden of Eden. He wasn't meant even to work. He was meant to worship God the whole day. Working is a curse. Now, of course, you need to have a happy wife and a comfortable life for your wife and children. But when we overdo it, when we get drowned in the pursuit, in the rat race of being more luxurious and building houses with rooms we don't need, driving cars just to show off, then we have zero time to pray and to learn and to grow spiritually. This is the biggest tragedy. It's a shame. We have a soul. God gave us a soul that needs to be used and revived. So that's why, by the way, Shabbat is so important. One of the great gifts and lobbying Moses did on behalf, Moshe Rabbeinu did on behalf of the Jews, was Moshe convinced Pharaoh to give Shabbat to the Jews off, because he said, if you make them work every day of the week, they're not going to be able to be productive. If you give them 1 day week off, that's what makes us more productive. Shabbat is the day that we put all the physical aside, all the workaholic aside, and we think, why did God create me with such a powerful soul and mind? And we realize the reason God created us is to, first of all, emulate Him, be kind and merciful and patient, learn His Torah, gain the divine knowledge. And that's again why we need to pray 3 times a day. It recharges our soul. It gives us the purpose of direction. But more important than everything is Shabbat, which is the 10 Commandments, which is the whole entire 25 hours that we could focus on our soul, learn, come to Kenisah, learn the Torah, learn the Parsha, bring our children, which is more important than anything. And that's how we be free from Pharaoh, from workaholic, from not spending time with ourselves and realizing what's the purpose of creation, which is to attach ourselves to the source of all blessing.